wherever it may be. Hopefully it won't take too long for it to load up. There it is there. So the stream's up, chat's up. I can hear myself up. Oh, I can hear myself, so that's good. Everything is working as it should be, and I just saw the Stone Tower leave the session, so yeah, that's not good. But hello and welcome everyone to round 6 of the PlayStation Pacific Elite Series here on Race Spec Esports. We are back, in this time at Autodromo Nazionale di Monza for the Italian Grand Prix. Built in 1922, Monza is the third oldest permanent racing facility in the world and hosted its first ever Grand Prix back in 1949. When the Formula One World Championship was introduced in 1950, the all-time classic circuit would host every single Italian Grand Prix, with only a single absence in 1980. The modern 5.79 kilometer 11-turn circuit still roughly follows the original layout. Over its time, the Rettifilo, Della Roggia and Ascari chicanes were introduced, as well as reprofiling of the Lesmo curves and Parabolica. But even with its slight changes over time, Monza remains the fastest racetrack on the Formula One calendar, earning its title as the Temple of Speed. It's an electric circuit that produces tight qualifying and high-speed, high-risk racing, like what we saw in Pacific Tier 1 on Tuesday night. So let's see who conquers all here at the home of Italian motorsport. Now, a bit of news from last race. Only a single incident report regarding an unfair penalty for pump 46 during a safety car restart. But as there was no race director attached to the report, the penalty couldn't be removed. So, the results remained unchanged from the previous race at Spa. Oz Formula currently leading the championship after winning every single race thus far. He's on 153 points, followed by iContrast on 109, 44 points behind. ACW and Plebs are currently tied for third on 68 points, with Pump 46 in 5th, G4 Zach in P6, Ferrari Pro, who isn't here tonight, in P7, Hillez P8, Leo in 9th, and BPV8 rounding out the top 10. In the Constructors, Alpine are leading on 166 points, as Smokegrass has retired from the session. Crashing out... Ooh, hello. Leo almost had a moment there. He's crashed out at the second Lesmo. There he is there. There's his Red Bull. Dead on the side of the road. So he's lost control and he ended up in the barrier on the inside. So Smokegrass will be starting from the back of the field. Yes, Alpine are currently leading on 166 points, followed by Aston Martin on 154. So only 12 points separating the two teams at the top. Then McLaren are third on 107, so quite a big margin between P2 and P3. Then 68 for AlphaTauri and 65 for Mercedes-Benz, followed by Haas, Williams, Ferrari, Red Bull and Alfa Romeo at the bottom of the table. So, with news out of the way, we can focus on qualifying. And a very tight qualifying session it should be as well. From a technical point of view, Monza is a very simple racetrack as Jax jumps to the top of the table. He's Oz Formula, by the way, for people who aren't sure who he is. That is Oz Formula. He's just got an alternate account that he's using at the moment. But yes, this is a very simple racetrack. There's a lot of flat-out sections, fairly simplistic chicanes, as Roscoe Arm has crashed out. Let's see here if I can catch this. We'll go on board with Leo. You can see Roscoe Arm stop there, stationary. There's his car. So he's lost control coming around the final corner and he's ended up in the barrier on the outside of the circuit. Probably ran a bit wide, I imagine, using some of the AstroTurf on the outside of Parabolica, as you're not allowed to do that. I'm pretty certain that's in the steward's briefing that you're not allowed to do that. GeForce Zach has jumped to the top of the table with a 1 minute 20.494. That's beaten by Hilles, a 1 minute 20.343. But a couple of drivers setting times on the mediums, both Jax and ACW setting times on the mediums. The Rock has currently got them fitted, but he's still in pit lane. Is that Kush on a flying lap? Looks like it. I might remove the tyre graphic, to be honest. It covers too much of the screen. Through the Della Roggia chicane. Nice and tidy through there for Izzat. Into the first Lesmo curve. Brings it down to 5th gear. Up to 6th, 7th gear. Into the second Lesmo, 5th gear. Just under 200 kilometers an hour. And this flat out section towards the notorious Ascari chicane. Quite a brutal bit of circuit. This part is very tall curves, particularly at turn 10, the final part of Ascari. It's a corner where you have to cut absolutely everything as BP jumps to the top of the table, or you don't cut it at all. If you sort of go in between, the car becomes unsettled, you spin out, you end up in the barrier. And there's our Kush, second quickest, 1 minute 20.034. Now, I might have to double check the Discord just to make sure if that is mentioned in the steward's report, because I'm pretty sure it was. I'll have a look. Because yeah, I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to do that. Not that I have a problem with it. I mean, the game doesn't penalise you, but you know, you always got to read the head steward's briefings. If I can actually find it in the Discord. By contrast, he's got the Rock just behind, so both of these guys are getting ready to set flying laps. See, I don't look at the steward's reports too often because, well, I'm not a driver. Here we are, head stewards. Netherlands, blah blah blah, Monza. Let's see. Well, it says here with the 5th point of the head steward's briefing, during qualifying, corner cutting to shorten in and out laps is prohibited. So if anybody picks up on that or reports it in, then yeah, probably get into a bit of trouble because you're not allowed to do that. High contrast on the flying lap, heading towards the Rettifilo chicane, the heaviest braking point on the racetrack. Brings it down to 1st gear for turn 2. Short shifts to 4th. 5th gear, 6th gear, around turn 3, Curva Grande. Hugs the inside. Hugs it like his favourite granny, as Martin Brundle would put it, as Plevs has joined the session, so he must have ducked out at one point. Through Della Roggia, 3rd gear, gets through there very nicely. Up towards the first Lesmo, brings it down to 5th gear. Does he short shift? No, he keeps it in 5th. Towards the second Lesmo, brings it down to 5th again. Very tidy here from contrast. DRS open towards the Ascari chicane. It's top gear, 330 kilometers an hour, 335 kilometers an hour on the brakes for turn 8, through turn 9, into turn 10, avoiding that inside curve as best he can, down the back straightaway. It's a little bit of a toe from Anthro, nothing major. Now the final corner, Parabolica, an awesome corner it is too. Increasing radius, so it rewards bravery. Keeps the car on the right hand side of the circuit, crosses the line, jumps to pole position. 1 minute 19.872. The Rock, E2, is completing a flying lap as Jax retakes top spot. The Rock goes 13th quickest with a 27.1. That's definitely not a competitive lap, so he's going to have another go. It doesn't appear that he's pushing too hard through the chicane. But he is using batteries, so he might be on a flying lap. Yeah, a bit of an early start. And as Harrison points out there, it's because of the NRL Grand Final. Plevs wanted to start early, so You didn't have to race while the grand final was going on, so we're starting early, and it's better than starting late for many drivers. So get it out of the way nice and early. As Gilles is out, he's crashed out. That's well after the second Lesmo. Let's see here. HCW, we'll use you, because you're coming up to the accident. Oh my goodness me. So he's gone into the barrier on the outside? Perhaps? Oh my goodness. He's right in the middle of the road. That would be a red flag for sure. Well, the first crash would have been a red flag too. And probably the second crash would have been a red flag involving Roscoe at the final turn. Yeah, there we go. 3 retirements already in qualifying. Although it's a simple racetrack, Monza can definitely catch you out, as it's proving right now. And I'm kind of surprised we haven't had a single incident, as ACW has jumped to second place. We haven't had a single incident at Ascari yet. Typically, that's the hotspot for accidents here at Monza. Ascari chicane, turns 8, 9 and 10. The amount of times I've seen a car crash through there. My goodness. Countless times through there. But is that coming around the second Lesmo? Ooh, very wide. But he keeps it on the... Oh, actually, he backs out of it. I was going to say, he didn't put it in the gravel on the outside. If he did, he would have bailed out for sure, but yeah. Decided not to commit to the lap. Just have a bit of a reset. Let's see here. Who else? BP, are you on a flying lap, buddy? Don't know. Pretty sure you're using battery, and the first sector split is promising. See what other people are up to. Leo, not on a flying lap. He's not using battery. Keeg, are you? Well, let's have a look at the second sector split. Yeah, the misses. Fair enough. Getting in the way. Alright, man. Fair enough. Oh, and someone's had an accident at Ascari. That is Nick. The Alfa Romeo. Broken off the front wing. He'll come back in. He's got enough time to do another lap, as BP does improve. So he was on a flying lap, but he's only improved by half a tenth. Is that? Now you're on an in lap. Plebs is up in the first sector. I don't know if you're on a flying lap or not. Let's see. That engine note was weird. It's like the engine stalled briefly as he's up by 0.04 of a second. Seems to be moving a little bit. But if he can get this final sector right, he might be able to gain a place. Into pit lane he goes, so he wasn't going to commit to the lap. Fair enough, as eye contrast is purple to the first sector. Coming around the first Lesmo. Then round the second. Fifth gear, nice and gentle as always. Keeps it within the white lines. Keeps the car very much under control. Jax is getting ready to set a flying lap. We'll look at him in just a moment. Sector 2 is promising as well for contrast, up by 1/10.5. To Ascari. Keeps it well under control. Very good driving. One corner to go. Parabolica. Chucks it in. Fifth gear. 180 kilometers an hour at the apex. Keeps it tight to the right-hand side. By contrast, will improve to second place with a 119.610. He's just missed out on pole position, though Jax is looking to improve. He's up by a 1/10.5 in the first sector, coming around the second Lesmo. Short shifts to 6th gear. Big wiggle at the exit. Hello, soft tyre. Random soft tyre just sitting there in the middle of the road. Sector 2, what does it say? He's up by almost 3/10. Very quick, very tidy through Ascari. Down the back straightaway. 315, 320 kilometers an hour, 322, 323 into Parabolica. Keeps it narrow, just like contrast, just like many of these drivers. Crosses the line to set a 1 minute 19.320. Can anybody challenge that? Just under 2 minutes left in the session. Now this isn't a revving glitch. He's deliberately revving the car there just to try and dump as much fuel as possible. So ACW really trying to find every 10th, every 100th of a second right here at the death of qualifying. Leo coming up to the line. I'm pretty sure he's set to improve. He does improve by 6/10, jumps to P6. Just behind Isaac Kush, who was on an outlap. Keeg has invalidated. Has he got enough time left to go again? He should have enough time left to go again. ACW heading down to Retafilo. Slams on the brakes, brings it down to second, cuts all of turn 1. Gets nice traction out of 2 towards Curva Grande now. Hugs the inside, uses a little bit of the inside curb there. Something I've seen a lot of the quick drivers do, but he's down in the first sector. Oh, right on the limit there. Through turns 4 and 5. Through turn 6 now. Into turn 7, the second Legsmo. Opens DRS. Heading towards Ascari. Brings it down from 336 kilometers an hour. Right on the limit. He was purple to that second sector as well. But he needs to find a lot of time in this final sector if he wants to take pole. The clock runs out. These are the final flying laps in qualifying around Parabolica. Keeps it narrow on the exit. ACW. He will set a 119.532. It's enough for P2. BPV8 currently 4th place. Can he jump up a place or 2? Right at the end of qualifying. Coming up to the line. He does improve in terms of time, not in terms of position. There's a 119.642 spinning. Is that? Into the barrier he goes. He was trying to find every 10th. Fortunately, he went just over the limit. Plebs jumps to P5 with a 19.8. Leo on a flying lap, his final flying lap. Nick crosses the line, stays P10. Comes around Parabolica. Can Leo improve? Let's see. Keeps it really narrow. I think he did improve. But we'll see the final results in just a moment. Pretty sure he did a 20 flat. Leo, well, I'm not sure if he did improve actually. He might have, but only by a little bit. It's Jax on pole, ACW in second place, I Contrast in third, BP 4th, Plebs 5th, Leo in 6th, Izat 7th, Hillez in 8th, Zach in 9th, and Nick rounding out the top 10. Then we have Keeg, Anthro, Power Sight, Pump, The Rock, then the Stone Town not setting a time, same with Smokegrass and Roscoe Arm, these two crashing out during quali. Now, I just want to check with Leo, his final lap. Did he improve? He did improve. He did. His best lap was his last one, a 20 flat. But there we are. Quite a good quali session. Now we can look forward to a good race. But no, a lot to look forward to, particularly next week. Well, I guess the drivers weren't looking forward to the race. Because it's wet. Intermediate conditions, I don't think it'll be full wet. I can see intermediate tyres in Pump's garage. Wet conditions aren't fun most of the time. Around here at Monza, it's probably a lot less fun because naturally you want your car to produce as little drag as possible. That means you have to lower the wings as much as you can. In these wet conditions, though, you want to increase the angle of the wings to get more downforce so you get more traction through the corners. But this is Monza. You don't want downforce, you want speed. So drivers are going to find it very, very tough through the chicanes, through the Lesmo curves and through Parabolica. Because I think a lot of them probably won't change their wings too much. Just so then they can have as much straight line speed as possible. So looking through the order, everybody should be starting on the Inter. They are. Everyone's starting on the Inter. Now I don't know if the conditions will get better. I don't know if the conditions will get worse. I just know for right now, it's intermediate. And drivers are probably not going to have a fun time. Looking on board. See, it's very light rain and we can see Jack's showing us how not to take the Della Roggia chicane. Good job, Jax. Good demonstration. But, yeah, this won't be easy. At all. And the spray you have to deal with as well. Though there isn't a great deal of spray coming off the tyres. Suggests to me that we might be going to dry conditions fairly quickly, maybe. Because there's no spray coming off the cars, so... This should be very interesting. And we all know turn 1, lap 1 at Monza. It's well known what it's like barreling in there on the first lap when the field is all bunched up. And oh my goodness, is that... that caught me so off guard. Oh, is that? Now, Izzat is actually quite a wet weather maestro, but he's not doing himself any favours by doing that. Thank goodness you don't get damage on the formation lap, otherwise that'll be really embarrassing. Leaders are making their way back onto the grid. They'll line up into their respective grid slots. We'll just be waiting on the Ferrari of the Rock. He's dropped a fair bit of time. He'll be starting from P15. It's definitely the place you don't want to start, towards the back of the field, but what's very nice about starting at the back is that if any of the drivers in front of you get into trouble, you have a fairly good chance of avoiding that trouble and making up places. Everyone's lined up and ready to race here at Monza. We have 5 red lights. And it's lights out. And away we go. BP converts really well from 3rd place. Rather, it was 4th place, wasn't it? In the background, a Ferrari going off the road. And well done, BP. He will lead the field into turn 1. Plevs catapults into the side of him. Oh, no. They go off the road. Plebs gets a time penalty. So does Jax. BP down in 4th place. He might have damage from that incident. Oh dear. We saw a similar thing in Pacific Tier 1 with drivers going straight on at the chicane. So is Leo. Smash into the side of Izzat. Izzat rejoins the circuit safely. In fact, they both do. Really good job. Oh, though that's close between BP and Izzat. I saw the back end of that. That wasn't very nice. And spinning is Plebs. He's missing a front wing. He's lost that at the first Lesmo, and he's then... Has he reset the circuit there? He was right on the racing line. He mysteriously just ended up on the racing line. BP under attack here from iContrast. Oh, and Hillers overshoots Ascari into the gravel trap. He pulls it up though, only just. Oh, and spinning is Nick. Nick spins out. Thankfully, ghosting is turned on, otherwise that could have been quite nasty. But a whole heap of drama on the first lap here at Monza. This is rather typical. Come around the final corner. What a first lap we've had. We've got two drivers with missing front wings. BP is into the pits, and Jack's out in front. He's pulled away massively. iContrast trying to... Oh, sorry, no, that's his teammate, Zach. Well, they might go three wide here into the first turn. Not quite. Hillez trying to hang on to P5. Plebs has left the session there. Hasn't retired though, so hopefully he'll be able to rejoin and get going again. Oh, and Leo's lost a whole heap of time. Oh, and Roscoe Arms off the road. But he keeps it under control. But what a first lap this has been. Remember, these guys aren't using any assist, no traction control, no ABS, no racing line either. So drivers have to try and adapt to the conditions themselves. They can't have the game help them out. iContrast is into third place, overtaking ACW. I have absolutely no idea where to look. There's drama going on absolutely everywhere. Heading down towards Ascari. Battle for P6. Through the chicane. Oh, and a big wiggle there from Leo. Here comes Keeg in the Mercedes-Benz. He draws alongside. And he passes the Williams. Into P7 he goes. Though Leo has the inside line, but he gives in. Jack setting fastest laps out there. He's in clear air. He's currently unchallenged, and into the pits goes somebody, a Williams. That's Leo. And he's retired. Oh, dearie me. He's retired straight away. First retirement of the race, that one. Which you may think is quite surprising considering the amount of drama we've had. Oh, and Anthro makes a hash of turn 5. Here comes Roscoe Arm. Gets traction, powers past into P8. He's really trying to survive these horrible conditions. We'll see who's made up some places, shall we? See Power Sight on screen right now has made up a place. Stone Towel, who is ghosting, he might be an AI. Currently up 3 positions. Smokegrass up 6. Pump up 4 positions. Anthro up 3. Roscoe Arms, the best starter out of all of them, up 10 positions from P18, from last on the grid after crashing out in qualifying. He's up to 8. He's in the top 10. Nick and Powersight, what's going on here? They're battling for position. I see Powersight has got a missing front wing on his Alpine. He'll be coming into the pits to get that fixed. Other good starters, Keeg Dog, Zach up 3 positions, Hillez up 3 positions, Izak Kush up 5 positions, trying to close in on Jax. As I mentioned before, Izat is quite quick in these conditions. Though again, every time I mention that, Izat seems to make a mistake. So maybe for Izat's sake, I'll keep my mouth shut about it. There's a battle here for P5 between Hillez and Zach. BP gets a 5-second penalty for corner cutting. He's at turn 3, so he must have cut either turn 1 or 2. Very, very easy to do. The rain is still coming down. You can see the droplets on the halo. As Zach draws alongside the McLaren into Ascari. Gilles outbreaks his rival and keeps the position around the outside at turn 8. What a brave bit of driving that is. Keeg just 2 seconds behind, and it's a 1.7 second gap between Keeg and Roscoe. I believe that was a rock bringing out a yellow flag there in Sector 2. I'm pretty sure that was a Ferrari. Anthro trying to follow the Haas. Pump trying to keep up with the Williams, as we got a battle here. Still raging on for P5. Gilles, Zach, side by side through turn 2. Zach, he's right on the McLaren's gearbox. Can he get a run? Not quite. Sitting in the slipstream around Curva Grande. Heading towards De La Roggia. Not close enough to attack. 5 drivers get through relatively well. There's Keeg. He's actually closing in. The gap used to be 2 seconds. Now it's 1.5. Oh, I reckon Zach might have a run here. Closing in. Looks to the inside. Can't commit to a move though. You can see how confident Gilles is under brakes. Very wide there. That might have been a warning. On the back straightaway towards Parabolica. Jack sets a new fastest lap. 1 minute 29. That is beaten by Izzat. He set a 29.4, I'm pretty sure. Izzat just set a 29.3. There we are. So 129.4. Izzat a 129.372. Get rid of that. Zach just not quite in a position. Pump closing in. He too isn't in a position. Hang on, what's happened to Izzat? Izzat's lost a tremendous amount of time, and Zach, around the outside at Curva Grande, is into 5th place. Roscoe might be thinking of a move. Yeah, not quite close enough. Gilles, Zach still battling for position into the first Lesmo. Gilles retakes P5. What a great battle this has been between these two. Around the second Lesmo. Zach loses time. I don't think he'll be able to attack into Ascari. Yeah, Izzat's lost a tremendous amount of time. Used to be just under 4 seconds behind. He's now in 3rd place. No visible damage on the car though. Jack sets a new fastest lap with a 29.1. The conditions might be getting better. We might be seeing some dry running soon. Maybe. We'll have to wait and see. BP overtaking the AI of the Stone Towel, I'm pretty sure. Zach closing in. Looks. Doesn't commit to a move though. Same goes with all of these guys behind. None of them are quite in a position to attack though. Anthro makes a mistake, but Pump is too far behind to try and capitalize on the error. Zach still on the back of Gilles. Not close enough again. Not close enough. Half a second is the gap between Izzat and Contrast. Jax is just pulling away. Absolutely flying. Still raindrops falling on the halo, so we're still in the middle of intermediate conditions, but you can see visibly the track looks drier. There's still a sheen to it, but I reckon it looks much drier. And as you can see as well, there's no visible spray coming off the tyres. I think we're not too far away. Oh, deep on the brakes! Does that go straight on? Oh my dearie me, is that a big error there? And here comes ACW to capitalise on the situation. He's right on the back of the Red Bull. BP sets fastest lap. And the rain has stopped. The rain has stopped. You can see there's no more rain droplets on the halo. So we're not too far away from dry conditions now. But when's the changeover point? Well, for any driver, as soon as you see the DRS enabled prompt come up, that's when you come in to put on the slick tyre. Roscoe overtaking Keeg as he made a mistake through the chicane. Mercedes driver not giving in though, he's staying right on his gearbox. But drivers can take a gamble. They can pit in before the prompt comes up. And if they time it just right, they can get a massive benefit out of it. Through Ascari come these 4 cars. Got the 2 Benzes of Keeg and Pump. Got the Williams of Anthro, who's right on the back of Keeg, and we got Roscoe leading the train. Nick isn't too far behind as well in the Alfa Romeo. There also might be a bit of a debate of what tyre they go onto. I think the mediums would be the most logical option. I think they could make it from this distance as well. I definitely think the mediums are the way to go. And I wouldn't be at all surprised that as soon as we change to drier conditions, we start seeing a few accidents here and there. It's what I typically see as a commentator. See, when the conditions are like this, drivers tend to go into their own little safety shell. They don't push one another at all. They don't go for risks. Don't go for any overtakes. But when the dry conditions come, they get all the confidence in the world and they start to overdrive it a little bit. And that's when they start making mistakes. So I wouldn't be at all surprised if we saw one from one of these drivers. Any of the 17 drivers left in the race. As soon as we go to dry conditions, Smokegrass gets a 3-second time penalty. Any of these guys coming in? No, is the answer. Not yet. Still want to hang out there on the Inter. Down the pitch straight away. Not close enough. Zach, again, none of these guys are. We haven't got the DRS prompt coming up yet either. So they still don't have that to try and batter one another. Not much is going on up the front, unfortunately. Jack has basically pulled away from the rest of the field. Izzat has made a mistake or two. Izzat used to be in second place, but after several errors they found themselves in third. High Contrast obviously taking that second place. ACW has kept within 1 second of Izzat. Zach has overtaken Hilles for P5 there. In fact, these two have been the only 2 people to watch, really, during this intermediate period. These two have been battling each other with quite a great deal of respect. Especially in these conditions. It's very difficult to race side by side. It's very easy to make a mistake, but these two have kept it relatively clean. I see a penalty for Hilles, but that'll be nothing major. Probably just running wide a little bit at a corner and the game just, you know, giving a penalty. It's what it does. And of course we have these 4 in a group still battling for position, though the battle itself has been quite stagnant for a while. Yeah, that's pretty much the story at the front of the field there. Not much going on. Well, I don't think that's Plebs himself. That would be Plebs the AI getting lapped. Because he hasn't rejoined the session yet. Plebs was involved in a lap 1 incident. Collecting a few other cars in the process, I believe. BP was definitely one of them. I think Jax might have been another. And then Plebs spun out. I'm not sure if he was aided or not in the spin. He spun out at the first Lesmo curve, and yeah, it's been a fairly shocking race. He went into pit lane to get the car fixed, and he disconnected, but he hasn't rejoined since. A few other drivers having incidents on the first lap as well. The Rock had an incident. He had a missing front wing when I was trying to look for Plebs on the first lap. So he got involved in something. I didn't see it directly. And Leo's been in the wars with a few drivers. He decided to voluntarily retire in the pit lane, and he's our only retirement so far. Is that applying a little bit of pressure here to Contrast? He's closed in to within 7/10 of the YouTube megastar. Well, he's a megastar in our neck of the woods anyway. Through the chicane. Around the first Lesmo curve. Just chipping away at the gap. Just hovering at about 7/10. Closes in every so often. There's ACW just in the background. I'm surprised it's still wet enough out there to use the intermediate tyre. I am very shocked how long it's been to try and let the track evolve so then it's suitable for the dry tyre. These four. Got Keeg now leading the group. You can see Roscoe he's pulled away a 1.8 or so second margin. Keeg, he's now got the Williams of Anthro right behind. Same with Nick in the Alfa Romeo and BP. As we have a change for position. Isaac Kush into second place as they now lap the AI car of Plebs. You can actually see Contrast, he's losing a fair bit of ground there. Gap has already increased to 8/10. BP getting by Nick. BP qualified in third place, if I remember correctly. Let's have a look. Down 7th position. So he started from 4th place. Got an absolutely ripping start off the line. He led the field into turn 1, and he got caught up with Plebs at the first turn. He's been on the recovery ever since. Just outside of the top 10 as Keeg makes a mistake. Anthro right on his gearbox. They make contact at the first Lesmo curve, and Anthro is through, and BP looking down the inside. He's alongside and he's through into 10th place. Anthro and Keeg battling towards Ascari. And the Mercedes hangs on to 8th place. BP though, he's on a charge up through the field. He won't be mucking around. Heading towards Parabolica. Shows the nose to try and distract Anthro, but the Williams remains unmoved. Exiting Parabolica though, the Haas has got a lot of speed. Trying to draw alongside, unable to do so. Heading towards turn 1, looking left and right to try and make a move. Down the inside. Can't commit to any sort of overtake though. Keeg makes a mistake. And loses 2 positions just like that, maybe 3. It is 3. Down to P11. Maybe 4. Here comes Nick around the outside, though he can't commit to a move there. Stays in P12 for now. Rock changing positions there with Powerside, who goes into the pit lane. Set of medium tyres going onto the car. He's the first driver to pit on to slick tyres. His teammate stays out for another lap. He's got a 9-second buffer as BP overtakes Anthro. Exiting Ascari, he's in 8th place. He now has to close in on his teammate, who is 3.5 seconds in front. Sector 1, yellow flags. That is a Alpine. That is Powerside. He's made a mistake coming through the first chicane, and he's ended up in the barrier, so maybe it's not time for slick tyres just yet. Nick into the pits, onto a set of mediums, and away he goes. Well, we saw what happened with Powerside. Hopefully Nick will have a bit better control over his car. Jack still leading the way, 9 seconds. His DRS is enabled, so Nick made the right call. The Stone Tower, I believe that's the AI of the Stone Tower. I don't think he's rejoined the session. He's gone into the pit lane, so will we see Jackson? Here we go. He is coming in. Switches on the pit limiter. Izzat will be coming in as well. Everyone will be coming in. They need to make sure they don't speed into the pit lane, though. Very easy to do here at Monza. Now let's see, what do they change on to? Set of softs for Jack. Is that set of softs? Same with eye contrast and ACW. So a lot of confidence in the soft tyre. Hiller stays out another lap. We have yellow flags at the final turn. Not really sure what that is. Probably just a slow car. Nothing major. Hopefully the drivers can get back in the groove on the slick tyre and hopefully won't make a mistake. Be interesting to see how these battles pan out. Some drivers staying out, like Hillez and Roscoe, Anthro and Pump. And that's a mistake from somebody. That's Izzat Kush. Losing control at the De La Roggia chicane and has dropped to 7th place. So maybe it's still not time for the slick tyre, as Zach gets a 3-second time penalty. Multiple warnings. Closing in. Izzat will use DRS. He might have a go here at Anthro. Looks to the inside. Locking up sideways into turn 9, but keeps it under control. Starting to pull away from Anthro, so perhaps it was just a driver error on Izzat's part, maybe not the tyre. Hillez into pit lane to get off the Inter. Roscoe will likely do the same as ACW powering on, as Roscoe gets a 5-second penalty for speeding into the pits. But here's your top 3. It's ACW on screen right now. He's 2 seconds behind this man. Eye contrast, P2. And then it's a 14.2 second margin to our current race leader, Jax. Driver also known as Oz Formula. Seems that Hillez and Zach are going to continue the battle they had in the intermediate conditions, it seems. Neither driver has gained or lost anything during the weather change period. They're going to resume battle for 5th place. Roscoe Arm on the back of Anthro. Be looking to get by. Right on the back. You'll get DRS as Jack sets fastest lap at 27 flat. Roscoe Arm will get DRS heading towards Ascari. I don't think he'll be close enough to attack into Ascari, but he might be able to set up a move into turn 1 on the next lap. Same with Keeg. He's on the back of Nick as of right now. Power side to 3-second time penalty. The Rock is on the back of the AI of the Stone Towel as well. So we've got a few clusters here and there. And it seems that Eye Contrast has pulled away from ACW as well. The gap has increased to 2.8 seconds. BP sets fastest lap, showing that he's got a lot of pace in that Haas. Heading towards turn 1. Doesn't go for the move. Keeg does though. He's into 10th. And yeah, I thought it was the AI of the Stone Towel. He hasn't rejoined the session. And actually, Roscoe Arm has lost a fair amount of ground to Anthro. Gap has increased to 8/10. He's starting to close it back up though in this second sector. Jack's another fastest lap of 26.1 effectively. It's DRS, closes in again. So we've got 3 drivers on the mediums. Everybody else is on the soft tyre though. And they should make it easily, I would think. So we probably don't need the tyre graphic anymore. We'll probably use the position graphic a bit later. We'll just try and increase the viewing space once again. Because yeah, leaderboard is big. BP fastest lap, 25.4. He's closing in on Zach in P6. Roscoe Arm draws alongside. There should be a simple move, and it is a simple move. Into P8 he goes. Now he needs to pull away from the Williams. For Anthro's sake, he needs to stay within 1 second, stay within DRS range of the Haas. Zach again closing in on Gilles. These two seem inseparable. Closes to within half a second of the McLaren. Through Ascari. Zach actually lost a little bit of ground through there, so Gilles is quite confident through the chicane, or at least more confident compared to Zach. Either that or Zach has got lower wings on his car, which will help him out here on the main straight. The Rock a 3-second time penalty. Zach closes in. Just shows Gilles, I'm right here, buddy. Make a mistake and the position is mine. Gilles just needs to keep his eyes forward. Keep up the good driving. Look at the penalty scenario. See here, Jax has got 3 seconds next to his name. Izzat has 6. Gilles and Zach have 3 seconds each, so this is a genuine battle, and that's an accident. Keeg has lost a fair amount of ground. Slow down enough to bring out the yellow flag. But he's in the race, and it doesn't appear like he has damage on the car either. He needs to close in onto the back of his teammate, otherwise Pump and Nick will just drive away from him, thanks to the power of DRS. See, Plez, the AI, 16 seconds, my goodness. The Rock has 6 next to his name. And these will become mightily important as the Rock is in the pit lane. He's put on fresh, soft tyres.
Those penalties will become really, really important if we have a safety car. Excuse me. Zach looking down the inside. Gilles covers. Here we go. Into turn one we go. Tight battling between these two. Real tight. The Rock a 10-second time penalty for corner cutting as he cuts turns 1 and 2. Really tight. You saw Gilles absolutely slam the door shut on the pitch straight, forcing Zach to go around the outside. Same goes here into the Della Roggia chicane. Zach goes deep. Not deep enough. Can't go around the outside. He stays in P6. Real tough battle going on here. And the first Lesmo. Into the second. Zach. Get DRS. He'll close in on Gilles towards Ascari. He won't go for a move here. He's not close enough. You actually hear him back out of it a bit early there. Oh, and a big moment. Oh, that could have been race ending right there. Riding on the curb at the inside of turn 9. The car became incredibly unsettled, but he managed to catch the slide and keep the car pointing in the right direction. Around Parabolica, the gap is 6.5 tenths of a second. Gilles a bit sideways at the exit of Parabolica. This may open a small window of opportunity for Zach. Can he go for 5th place as BP sets another fastest lap? Into turn 1 we go. Looking round the outside again. Zach can't get it done there. Now I saw a flashing light at the back of the McLaren. You can see by the little bar on the steering wheel, Gilles is running low on energy. He's really spending his battery to keep the Aston Martin at bay. Can he hang on here? No, he gives in. The Aston Martin overshoots turn 5 though. He'll get a warning and he'll give up the position. It's only right to do that. Didn't complete the corner correctly, so he gave up the place to Gilles. And BP closing in at a rapid rate of knots. There he is in the background. Jack sets fastest lap. A 24 flat. He's out in front with a massive 17.7 second margin. Down the back straightaway towards Parabolica, we have the Stone Towel. His AI is in the pits. Around Parabolica, onto the pitch straight. The gap is too great for Zach, I think. Just a bit too... Oh, maybe not. Hang on. It should be too great. BP sets another fastest lap. There's the AI of the Stone Towel. Oh, missed the apex there by a little bit there. Zach? Just a little bit. There's BP. The gap has shrunk to 1.6 seconds. He's going to introduce himself to this battle shortly. You can see in terms of the penalties, he's on the same amount as Gilles and Zach. So this is going to be a genuine fight for position. Around the second Lesmo, Jack sets another fastest lap. It seems that Jax and BP are having a fastest lap battle. We'll see if BP can retake that fastest lap when he crosses the line. There's the blue flags being waved there for the AI of the Stone Towel. Heading down the back straightaway towards Parabolica. See Gilles driving through, quite literally, the Stone Towel. BP should get DRS this time around. These fellas begin lap 24 of 27. Zach closing in, and so is BP. This should be a really interesting tussle for 5th place. And someone's had a crash. It's Izzat again at the same corner as before at the exit of turn 5. Losing a tremendous amount of time. Fortunately, Izzat has got a fairly big margin to Gilles. He should still hang on to 4th place. I'll quickly check penalties again. 6 seconds. So long as Izzat keeps a 3-second margin over the McLaren, Izzat should still hang on to P4. Nick, a 3-second time penalty. Coming up to Parabolica. Gap is half a second. Zach needs a good run out of here. I think he's got it. DRS open. Closing in on the McLaren. Into turn 1 we go. Zach tries to keep it there. They make contact. Could hear the thud there between the two cars. They are really scrapping hard. Towards De La Roggia. And not quite close enough. There's BP just a second behind. Is that another 3-second time penalty? Now Izzat needs to keep a 6-second margin to Hillers as Jack sets another fastest lap. Can Izzat hang on to that P4? Well, with the amount of pace that Izzat has shown, they should. But Izzat's been quite susceptible to some mistakes over the course of the race. So it might not be a too easy task for the Red Bull driver. Into the pit straight once again. Be 2 laps to go for these 3 to sort out this battle. Zach closing in. Will he have a go? Round the outside? No. Stays behind. Sparks fly at the apex at turn 1. Pushing the very limits at the moment. Out in front though. Jax is about to start his final flying lap. Comes around Parabolica with an enormous margin. It's been complete domination for Oz Formula. He's won every single race of the Pacific Elite Series so far. Very few have been able to challenge him. And so far, no one has beaten him. And he's just reaffirming his dominance over the championship with this performance. He's got a massive margin over this man, High Contrast, in second place. He'd be happy with another podium. This will be podium number 6 in a row for High Contrast. Shown superb form, and ACW will take 3rd at this stage. These 3 arriving onto the final lap. What can Zach do? Doesn't go for a move. Hillez hangs on. Through the Ascari chicane for the final time. Jack's getting ready to set another flying lap right here at the end of the race. Around Parabolica for the final time. Complete domination here at Monza. SHZ_Jax takes the win and fastest lap here at the Italian Grand Prix. High Contrast will come around Parabolica for the final time as well to claim another podium finish. His 6th in a row. Just missing out on the top step again. ACW completing the podium in 3rd place. Izzat will hang on to P4. Look at these 3 battling for position still. A tight finish, but in the end it will be Hillez that is victorious in this battle for P5. Zach P6, and a good recovery for BP to finish in 7th place. There'll be Roscoe Arm in 8th place. A double points finish for the Haas outfit. Anthro P9, Pump P9 as Anthro drops down to P10. Keeg in P11 and Nick, our final finisher, in P12. There we are, not a bad race here at Monza. Quite surprising to see not a single safety car in this one. Typically you see one or two. The time for the podium celebrations, and can anybody stop this man? Win 6 from 6. My goodness. By contrast, P2, ACW P3. And with Plevs not finishing the race, ACW will gain a lot of points on his championship rival. So there we are. Well done to the top 3 once again. And Jax, well done for your 6th win in a row. Isaac Kush, P4, Hillez P5, Zach P6, BPV8, P7. Driver of the day, Roscoe Arm, from P18 to P8, making up 10 places over the course of this race. Solid drive as well from Pump, from P14 to P9, Anthro completing the top 10. We got Keeg, Nick, Smokegrass. I think those might be our final finishers. Stone Tower was EAI. No, Rock was a finisher as well, I'm pretty sure. Same with Powersight as well. The stewards might have to look into that one because a couple of drivers finished when they weren't in control of their cars. Our only genuine retirement from this race was Leo, and that is quite surprising considering this is Monza. You typically see a lot of retirements here, but only one. Very, very surprising indeed. But a nice short race, I suppose. People can go off to watch the NRL Grand Final now. And we'll probably wrap up this stream as well. Yeah, all in all, not a bad race here at Monza. Some good battles here and there. Some good driving, a good qualifying session as well. That was nice to watch. All in all, just very nice. Very well done. But yes, with everything finally over, we can now wrap up the stream. Tune in next Tuesday as the Pacific Series starts up again. But for the Pacific Elite Series, we'll have to wait until next week. Until then, I've been Lane Everingham. Thank you all so much for watching. And we'll see you for round 7 at a brand new racetrack for Race Spec Esports, Autódromo Internacional do Algarve, for the Portuguese Grand Prix. I am very, very much looking forward to that. It should be an absolute blast to see cars travel around the Portimão circuit. Apparently a lot of Portuguese people get quite upset when you pronounce it wrong. Apparently it's Portimão, not Portimão. Apparently. I don't speak Portuguese very well, but yeah, apparently we've been pronouncing it wrong the entire time. Still, it should be absolutely fantastic to watch, and I hope to see you there. But until next time, it's goodbye.